It's a new week, everybody. Welcome to Shootin' the Wheeze, the show where we sit down and shoot the shit on whatever we want. My life, the world of professional wrestling. It's actually what I kind of wanted to start off with is just saying to remind you, this podcast isn't necessarily meant to just be a wrestling podcast. That's not the purpose. I don't want to sit here every week and talk about Raw or SmackDown or a lot of the things happening in wrestling. It's just going to kind of depend. We're going to evolve as we go. Maybe sometimes we have maybe multiple episodes a week where we do one that's just wrestling and one that's whatever, I want to talk about, because it really does depend on the day. Today, however, I bounced around a couple different topics, a couple different things that I wanted to talk about. And while they're not directly related to anything that is wrestling as far as it being on TV, maybe that's a lie. Okay. So last week, we had another incident where the WWE released a compilation of streamers reacting to WWE. They were reacting to Tiffany Stratton. I say they as if I wasn't a part of it. They were reacting to Tiffany Stratton cashing in her Money in the Bank contract. I was busy that day. I don't remember what day it was. Friday. I don't remember what I was doing, where I wasn't on the internet and I didn't get to see whatever was happening. All right. I saw the reaction clip that they put out on Instagram, and then I saw we were on SmackDown that night. What I missed was some kind of Discord on Twitter/X where we had different creators in the space being upset or jealous or thinking that streamers are undeserving of the attention that the WWE gives them. I mean, it was a spiral of fuckery, honestly. I didn't read too much into it. It just kind of started trickling on my timeline. And it got me thinking, because I immediately jump on the defensive because streaming is what I do. But there were so many, I don't want to say small-minded, but maybe small-minded. So many jealous and small-minded takes of how dare they don't deserve, like streamers are terrible, content creators are where it's at, and we're piling onto these these labels of who people are. If you're a video creator, you're better than a streamer, and if you're a streamer, you're annoying, and we were trying to come up with a blanket statement to cover everybody, right? Because when I look at myself, I am a streamer, but I used streaming and reaction content as an avenue to not only create more and different content, but to push people to my other stuff, because I'm a creative. I wanted to create YouTube videos. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted it to open up the doors for me to be able to go and MC. That was always what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on the microphone. I wanted to be an MC for events, wrestling events. I wanted to get out into the space, into the business, because I've never had the balls to become a professional wrestler myself, but I love the business. So that was the route that I took. But to see so many negative things said in so many different ways, and the way that I've interacted with the community thus far has always been very positive. I've had people be very kind to me, respectful to me, in telling me that they like the things that I do and how I do them. So I just pose the question of why are we so angry? Why do we get so angry to see other people succeed? Is it because it makes us feel less than? Is it because you feel like your hard work is being overlooked? And I get it. I know that reaction content, it's the bottom of the barrel of content. I won't lie. It's bottom of the barrel. It's easy. All it requires is an understanding of how to run a recording system, OBS, and access to the show. Microphone, camera, streaming service. That's it. That's what it requires. There is so much more to the success of it, I believe, than the reaction content. But the reality of it is that it's easy to consume, and people like to see how other reactors react, because everybody reacts differently. It's just something quick and easy to see. And then they also get to see this segment of wrestling. And it's not just wrestling that it exists in. It's in a lot of different spaces, TV shows, movies, shocking moments that it exists. So I understand that it doesn't require a lot of, creativity. But from my perspective, when I think about who I am as a streamer, I have been able to build a community of people that I enjoy talking to. I never had anybody to watch wrestling with past being a kid. So having an entire chat of people that I interact with and I entertain and I try to come up with cool ideas, that's the fun part of streaming. That's the part of streaming that does take knowing how to do it. Not everyone just wants to sit there and watch you on stream just react 24/7. Like, that's just not, I don't feel like that's sustainable. You have to be entertaining to a point. You have to be intriguing to a point where people want to stick around. So I pride myself not only on that, but just being genuine. There was a lot of, oh, well, all reactors are fake. They're fake. They're doing this fake thing for the sake of getting the attention of the WWE. And I don't doubt that there are some reactors that fake it. I don't. Am I able to always tell who? No. Is it my business or do I care? No. Because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I know that I'm being genuine. And to that point also, I'm turning up my energy a bit because I am a streamer. I'm on stream. I'm talking to myself. I'm reacting out loud because I am online and I am a streamer. If I was sitting by myself in my living room, I honestly would probably react much of the same minus all the talking that I'm doing in between segments, but that's to interact with my audience. So the fakeness, I get it, but not everyone is fake. Not everybody is fake. And if you are, some people clock it, some people don't. On the other hand, I have not reacted in a way that an audience thinks that I should react. Case in point, the first time we got featured by WWE was when CM Punk returned to the WWE. Now, I have been very open and honest about the fact that I did not watch WWE regularly at the time that CM Punk was in the WWE, at the time that he was champion. I was in high school, I was in college getting drunk in cornfields and flunking classes. That is what I was doing at that point in my life. I checked in here and there, like when Edge retired and a couple other different things that happened. So I don't have this nostalgic attach, or at least I didn't. I didn't have this nostalgic attachment to CM Punk like a lot of people do. I was not invested in the WWE at that time. The only thing I knew of him was that he had dropped the pipe bomb. That's what I knew. That's what I knew of CM Punk. So when he returned, I had heard rumors of him coming back. I remember I was watching AEW at the time. I remember when he joined AEW and how cool of a moment it was and the energy of that arena when he debuted there. And so I had grown to like him, honestly, in AEW. I had grown to like him in AEW. And then I grew to like him more and more the more I got to see him flourish in WWE for the second time. But that's a whole nother topic. As far as me reacting to him when he came back at Survivor Series, I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I cussed a lot, which is, I mean, if you know me, you know me. That's what I do. And that was it. I was in a little bit of shock because, you hear the rumors, but to see it actually happen, it's a whole different animal. It's a whole different thing when, maybe he'll return. Oh, there's rumors that, Punk's going to come back. They've been chanting his name for years since I've been watching again. And, he never hinted that he really was going to come back. He made it sound like it was something he never wanted to do, and then he did. And the internet did not like that. Oh, she's terrible. Terrible reaction. Terrible reaction. Oh, she has a terrible reaction. So when that's the case, can you blame certain streamers for maybe hyping up their reactions sometimes? There have been times where something has happened on screen, and I can't think of an example right off the bat, but I usually clock it and I'll usually be transparent about it and say something after the fact or while it's happening. There are things that happen and I immediately go to, oh no, what's the audience reactions going to be to this? Like, what are they going to expect from me? What should I do? Is this going to be perceived as the wrong reaction? And it's happened to me a few times. And then I feel dumb after because I know that I I didn't react as genuinely as I probably should have because I was overthinking it. And I do mention it right after it happened. It's been a while now that I'm a little more seasoned. But after the Punk reaction, I thought about it a lot more because the eyes were on us. I never knew that the WWE looked at what we did or saw us or how they came to see us. Well, I kind of do now. I mean, we popped up on their algorithm and that's how they found a lot of us, and then found out that there was a tons more, and there's tons more currently entering the space. What I question now, after seeing this most recent reaction to streamers getting featured, maybe this is super pessimistic of me, but it almost feels like the streamer, not necessarily the streamers themselves, but the act of reaction content in wrestling is being, what's the word? I don't want to say ostracized, but looked down on by a lot of other wrestling creators in the community. And so is that going to kill it? Like, is that going to be the nail in the coffin? That the more that it happens and the more that it gets shown, is it going to completely destroy it to where it's people are just going to hate the streamers? Like, oh, they're cringe. Because I get it. The longer that I do it, it can be cringe, but I don't feel like that in the moment. I'm just being Wheezy. I'm just being Wheezy on screen and watching the show and having a good time. And is that the part that people don't like and that's cringe? I just I don't understand the hatred or the backlash of it. It's been so very interesting to watch. Now, there are other times where I see something that is so very doctored. And I'm thinking of a particular example that happened this week. Something that is so very fabricated. And it's never my place to point it out because it's not my business. But the times that it can become my business is when a particular person goes on the internet and feels the need to blame either multiple people or a subsect of people for their own misfortunes or things that have happened to them. That's kind of where I draw the line, because what I observed this week was Friday night, we streamed SmackDown like we normally do. And all of us that got featured are rallying around and woohoo, good for you guys. I got to see new people that were featured that haven't been before, which I think is exciting because it means that there's sustainability in my space, all right? There was someone, I received a text message. I will not name names, but I received a text message telling me to go check something out at a specific timestamp. And so I went to whatever stream I went to, and I checked out that specific timestamp. And at that specific timestamp, I see somebody kind of drunk and blaming either one creator or multiple creators for them not having an opportunity that they felt the need to tell everybody that they had when nobody else really did that. And that's someone else's fault, that they seemingly lost an opportunity. Whether they did or not, I don't fucking know. I'm not sure. But it felt so menacing and targeted and cringy and pathetic and childish because I don't often experience that from people in my space. We're very much supportive of each other. Now, this particular person I did cut out of my circle a very long time ago because I value my career and my professionalism, and I am not obligated to associate with anybody that I don't want to associate with. And a hard lesson that a lot of new streamers, content creators, whatever you want to call them, the hard lesson a lot of them will learn is that not everybody is your friend and you should not work with everybody. Because all it takes is associating and working with the wrong person to do the wrong thing, and their wrongness or whatever they do that's bad, publicity-wise, stunt-wise, whatever, it can rub off on you and ruin either your career, your potential opportunities, your partnerships, your sponsorships, you need to look out for you, number one, above everybody else. Sometimes other people can help you and get you seen to a wider audience, but I implore you to be cautious about who it is that you let into your circle and who it is that you want to work with and allow to help you build your platform. And so I have no regrets. I have no regrets. If somebody wants to blame me for whatever they think happened, that's fine. I just would ask them to maybe look back and think about a lot of the things that they've done or said or the way that they conduct themselves and really be self-aware of not only themselves, but everything that they have said and stood for and done. And if you don't have that self-awareness as a public figure in general, you can't be a public figure. If you can't see your own wrongdoings or your shortcomings or your faults, because I know mine. I know what mine are, absolutely. And I can own up to them and I can apologize for them if I do them. But nobody can help you. And if you're really worth your salt and you're very good at what you do, other people can't touch you. Nobody in the world can cancel you if you are that good at what you do and you know how to speak and conduct yourself. And I can't stress that enough. So we'll leave that where it lies, because the beautiful thing about being who, I won't say who I am, the beautiful thing about being a person, a creator that has integrity, hey, Kurt Angle, that has integrity, I don't have to worry about someone coming after me for something because I have nothing to hide. And so that's a testament to don't step on people to get where you want to be. Don't belittle people. Be a good person. Help out where you can and look out for yourself above all without stepping on others. And as long as you follow that rubric and carry yourself with integrity, you're going to be just fine. The space is not for everybody, unfortunately. And that's outside of wrestling too. It's anywhere. You have to know how to conduct yourself. It's so very important. With that being said, I have been experiencing not necessarily wrestling burnout, but definitely just burnout of the interactions on not only Twitter, but just social media in general, because I feel like in the streamer role and interacting with the audience the way that I do, I get asked a lot of the same things. I get asked a lot of the same things. So it's kind of like a revolving door of the same thing over and over. And truthfully, like we talked about before, I am not an overanalyst. I really don't want to sit here on a podcast and go through, maybe this will happen. And if I had someone earlier in a live on Instagram ask me who I thought, like what match I'm most excited for at WrestleMania. And I'm like, dog, we don't have a single match really announced for WrestleMania. What do you mean? We have 2 or 3 PLEs before we get there. Maybe there's more. And I get the rumors, but truthfully, if you've never been in one of my streams and heard me say this, I mute all of the sites that post rumors and spoilers and stuff like that because I don't really want to speculate. It's not something that I find fun. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to do it. That's cool. But I just want to sit and watch the show and kind of see what happens. I've got enough eggs in my basket and stuff on my plate. You know, I don't really feel like tacking more on because that's kind of a lot. To be on, I have a hair in my mouth, to be on display in front of people all the time, it's such a blessing, but it also just drains a lot of energy from you. Being on all the time and being expected to act a certain way or answer specific things, it does get tiring. And so I'm just feeling that. I'm definitely feeling tired, which is exciting for me because in the conversation of streamers versus content creators, I've always seen myself as just a content creator, a video creator, someone in the space. I got an opportunity to be the fan ambassador for WrestleCon Indianapolis, and I'm super, super excited about it. I've been to one WrestleCon in Cleveland last year, so A wrestling convention is like a Comic-Con if you don't know. And basically the convention has a lot of wrestlers that have their own tables, and you can stand in line and pay for a selfie, autograph, whatever you want. You can just go up and shake their hand if you want. It's a really cool thing. I love conventions. I just started going to them a few years back. And I got reached out to by the people that run WrestleCon, and I get to be the hype woman, the fan ambassador, along with Pika, who I recorded my last episode with. We both get to go to WrestleCon and be, the cheerleaders. And it's at the Hyatt Indianapolis. It's right next to everything else you're going to want to go to. It's connected to Lucas Oil Stadium. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to shed light on it. I'm excited to create content there. I'm excited to just kind of get my foot in the door more, because that's what I've wanted. I've wanted to be able to be the MC and just be a part of the business in some way, because I've never fit in with the over analysis online. I'm not an online analyst. I'm not a journalist. I feel like I'm in this weird gray area of, specific people in the business telling me I'm a great creator and you have a great personality and a great look, but we don't know where you belong. Well, I don't know where I belong either. So I'm going to go with this gig because it at least is lucrative for me. It gets me where I want to be. And I want to try new things. I'm excited to try new things. It's fun getting to go out into the space, and just, especially now that I've met so many more people that go to these conventions, and it's always the highest of compliments to be told by someone that walks the walk and talks the talk and is a wrestler that they enjoy what I do, because that's really all I want. I just want to show people that wrestling is dope, and that you need to respect the people that are in it to a degree. I mean, some people don't deserve your respect, but that is very few. Because also sometimes I can't help but feel that when it comes to, I just realized I don't have my lava lamps on. That's okay. When it comes to podcasts or being listened to, the more popular I guess I've gotten, or the more that I've branched out, there's a lot more negativity that rolls in. And I hate that a lot of it centers around the fact that I'm a woman. And I feel like I'm constantly being tested to prove myself. Oh, well, what about this with wrestling? What about this with wrestling? Do you know this statistic? And that goes back to that connects to a couple different things. Where do I want to start with it? Okay. I have always had a bad memory. I don't remember things. I don't remember a lot of things unless they're core memories. So my wrestling knowledge is awful. Like, even just from last year. What did I just do? Oh my God. I said that Rhea and Charlotte happened at Mania 40. It happened at 39. But I literally watched it. I was streaming at that time. You know what I mean? It's not like I didn't watch it and comprehend it. It's just, I just forget timelines and things. So it takes me a minute to really kind of reel that in and remember. So when I make content with other people, it's a huge reason that I have a hard time going on to specific podcasts, because a lot of people want to know what's your favorite match, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that. I have never been able to pick. And that's not necessarily the memory thing. It's just I am incapable of narrowing it down when there's just so many options. But my memory is also ass. So any trivia games, anything like that have never been my cup of tea. That person I was talking about earlier that was making empty threats about how they were, did I mention that they said they were, I'm coming for you, and like winked in the camera? I remember telling this person that I don't like trivia because it trips me up and it makes me feel stupid. And I'm very sensitive about feeling stupid because my recall and memory like that has always been awful. I flunked out of college. I had to go to beauty school. Like, I'm very, very sensitive about feeling stupid. And then that person still put me in the position of having to do trivia. And when I expectedly was doing awful live on stream, like, not even made fun of me, but just would constantly look at me like, how did you not know that? And making a huge fucking deal about it. I would have punched him in the throat. But come to find out, I try to be open about it because I think it's an important thing. I was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 31. I wasn't surprised by it. after doing research, but I'm in therapy and working through figuring out how to function with it a lot better, because I don't function well with it. So we've learned a lot in the last year of doing all of that. So I think it's interesting to be a fan that has so much information in their brain that they can't retain. And there's others that can. It just depends on what it's so funny how everyone is so different. I can't retain it, but other people can. Or even how some people really hold on to matches and statistics. And I'm more like, I just want to watch this match because it's creative. Like I appreciate it as an art, not necessarily because of so-and-so held this many titles and did this many things. I appreciate it more just for what it is, rather than the accolades and all of the things that people that do the thing can acquire. So it makes me feel not bad, but not maybe inferior. I guess I feel inferior. Sometimes I feel inferior and not deserving of the platform that I've been given or created, because there's other people that know more than me. And there's just more of that happens. The higher you climb, the more negativity that there is. And I want there to be space for everybody, man. Like I want everybody to sit at my table, as long as they're kind to me. If you are deserving and you bust your ass, I want you to have a seat at my table. There's room for everybody. But the minute that you just start belittling, and I know sometimes people think that that's what I do. I get that. I get cranky. I get cranky in stream. But I get cranky in stream not only because I'm being asked the same thing consistently, but it's just a smorgasbord. Look at that word. It's a smorgasbord of me interacting with my audience, but then also random hurtful things coming through, or insinuations, or the kinds of wrestling mindsets that I have a difficult time understanding and dealing with. Like the really negative ones, just the quintessential echo chamber that exists in the IWC of going on Twitter and just feeling the need to just shit all over any product. I don't attest. I will not sign up for it. I don't like it. It's stupid. It doesn't help anybody. I don't know if it's just because it gives people a sense of belonging or that interaction that they crave, but I am just not a fan. I never have been. God, what was the other thing? Oh my God. So when it came to the streamers that were featured on WWE last week as well, I know I'm bouncing around. Welcome to ADHD. There was one particular tweet that we should ignore. I know that we should ignore a lot of these things, but a lot of the time I feel like if you ignore things, you're allowing it to exist and you're allowing yourself to be a punching bag, because people think that they're right about stuff when they're not. People want to be so right when they don't know. And when you know, like when you actually know and you have somebody out there that is claiming you're wrong, it drives me insane. The perceived rightness just drives me insane. So there was a person saying, I know, and they tried to backtrack too, but they're like, I happen to know that WWE pays some of these streamers for their reactions. No, the fuck they don't, bro. No, the fuck they don't. I know all of us jumped on board and said no. I swear to you. I swear to you. No, the fuck they don't. And he was like, I guarantee you. Well, I didn't say that you did. I just said, I guarantee you they pay. No, don't backtrack. You said what you said. I get it. And then that turned me. I was the asshole. What? Someone came at me and was like, I don't like Wheezy's attitude. Well, I don't like my attitude either, but I have it. And so I'm not going to be a punching bag on the internet. But no, WWE does not pay us to stream on the internet. We're free publicity. And they allow us to do what we do and create and generate income off of it, but it has nothing to do with them. So if at one day in time there is, and there's news to report on that, I will be the first to let you know. But until then, we are just a bunch of nerds with cameras and computers, and we like to watch wrestling. That's as deep as it gets. I went and started making dinner. So I started making a pot roast. I'll put it in the Instant Pot. And I sat down to do the question and answer portion of this stream and decided that maybe this isn't... I don't know if I'm going to release this publicly. I don't know if I am, because I talked about the particular streamer that is doing the blame game and all of that. And I just don't know. I don't know if I want to put that out in the world. So I'm going to release it here first. I'm going to record the Q&A portion. And if I decide to release it, it'll get released later in the week. Otherwise, it's just for you guys. So enjoy this episode. Maybe I'll record something else tomorrow. We'll see. So I decided to release it. I am not going to do questions or answering the questions or anything this week. Maybe I'll do it on stream Friday, just because I'm a little burnt out. I'm a little tired. This is the next day after I recorded that video. I am just tired. I'm just really tired. The internet is really giving it to me today. It's given it to me this week. I don't have my medication because the insurance company has been giving me the runaround, so I just don't feel good. I might just saw a tweet. Oh boy. But I do appreciate you guys a lot. I wish I had I don't want to, we know how at the beginning of this episode I said this isn't just a wrestling podcast. I am not in the mood to talk about wrestling right now. I'm not in the mood to talk about wrestling. I loved the episode on Monday Night Raw last night, and it's just, it gets so exhausting getting online and it being just, I don't want to analyze it like that. I just don't. And maybe that means that this isn't what I should do. But the news of this happening and this happening, I'm not feeling it, dog. I'm not feeling it. So we're going to end it here. Let this land where it lands. I appreciate you guys. We're going to have a more upbeat and insightful episode next week. Okay? All right. I appreciate you guys. Take care.